This is 13 Minutes. I'm Elliot Reeves. My guest today is Ian Lebruce. Ian, it's brilliant to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be here. How are you getting on?
I mean, I'm trying to take a kind of Zen approach to life at the moment. Things are as they are. It's fine. It's fine.
Hmm.
What about yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. As you know, I'm in a greenhouse of a flat. This is pretty much the only actual wall behind me. And I did just speed walk home through the meadows. So I am boiling right now, as you can probably see on my face and my hair. But all good, all good.
You got to get that exercise.
Yeah, exactly. Get the steps in.
Precisely. So, for the sake of, giving a bit of context, letting people know who you are, do you want to start with a little bio as to who Ian Lebruce is?
Yeah. Well, I do marketing and branding, mostly digital. Um, for companies of all sizes, really. But my specialties and I guess the areas that I'm known for, using gamification principles to kind of boost our client sales or sometimes help them internally. And secondly, helping academic spinouts from universities get from the idea phase to the selling phase because they've often got really incredible ideas and they're very intelligent and stuff, but they've no experience of business. So kind of taking them on that journey and helping them get funding or whatever it might be, whatever their kind of problems are.
So, how has this period been for you from a personal perspective?
It's been interesting. My workload has plummeted like a lot of people, so I've found myself with a lot of time on my hands. So that's been good in some ways because it's given me the freedom to do other things. Um, I had uh, I had a pretty crap week last week. My uncle passed away, so we're
Oh,
still
I'm
waiting
sorry
to
to
hear
hear
what
that.
the reason behind that was. Um, yeah, it is what it is. I'm generally okay with that kind of thing, but obviously trying to keep my mum's chin up and stuff. That's been tough. But
Hmm.
yeah, other than that, actually, everything's fine here. I have a puppy here to keep me happy. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of things that I can be. I feel very lucky to have like an amazing place and um, yeah, and I live in the most incredible city with amazing views either side of me and stuff. So a lot of
Yeah.
things to be very thankful for because I know a lot of people have it a lot worse right now. So yeah.
hmm how do you think that just, I guess, business recovery is going to be over the coming months?
Um, I think it's going to vary a lot from sector to sector. You've already seen car sales have had a big spike in the last few days because I imagine a lot of people aren't going to want to be taking public transport and things. So you've got some sectors like that which have been they took a massive dive recently, but they're kind of
Hmm.
spiking back up again now. Um, and then lots of other industries like travel products and that's obviously going to go back up again. But then there's a lot of businesses that I think might take a while to recover. And my industry around branding and marketing, it might be one of those ones where a lot of companies use a certain amount of their, a certain amount of their revenue to basically go back into marketing and help them kind of progress forward. And if a lot of them haven't been generating revenue in this period, there's obviously a knock-on effect of that because then they don't have the cash flow to use for marketing. So
Hmm.
that's been interesting. The companies that I've had contacting me to help them with work during this period, it's often the companies who are trying to get investment and grants and things. Um, so I've been helping a few companies kind of get to that stage where they haven't really been affected by what's going on in the world. So um, it's going to vary from industry to industry, and um, I'm trying to think about the companies that are in WeWork with us, and some
Yeah.
of them are thriving in this kind of environment that we're in. And one of them, I won't say their name, but they've had a. This has been the best. I mean, probably the best thing that could have happened for their business because it's meant that they've had tens of thousands of new customers overnight. So it's been interesting to kind of see friends have very different um, challenges to go through. Some of them haven't had the staff to deal with all the new work, and then other ones have had zero work overnight. So um,
Yeah.
it's quite stark to see the difference between different sectors.
hmm So how have you been managing yourself in terms of keeping your, kind of mental health and sanity in check over the last few weeks?
I've been playing games. That has been my thing. Probably not a surprise
It
to
doesn't come
anyone
as
who
a great
knows me. I've
surprise.
been
Yeah.
playing yeah, I've been playing so many video games. Um, Catching up on some of the ones that I've wanted to play but missed over time, and then really sinking proper hours into some of the bigger games out there, like The Witcher 3, which I'd done in the past but hadn't really given a proper amount of time to, and really exploring the world and taking it in properly. So um, quite a mix there of games that I've been playing, but they have been absolutely fantastic for keeping mental health good. Some of the games I play have like a really strong community aspect to them, so having
hmm
that social interaction has been really good. Um, I really like that some of the games I play present challenges that require you to be very creative, and that kind of keeps your brain active and not just passive as if you were watching TV, for example.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's a lot of skills that you can learn as well from games. So it doesn't feel like, I know a lot of people who don't play games often might see them as a waste of time or something like that, but there's a lot to be gained from them, and it gives you a safe environment to fail, which is really good, and that gives you a skill that you can take on into life. Um, you often learn skills around things like memory, just from playing games. So yeah, there's a whole host of reasons why playing games is fantastic, and this is the perfect time to be doing it when a lot of people are indoors for 23 plus hours every day. And for those of us who don't have kids to have to look after and very little work to do, it's really good. It keeps your brain active, and it gives you something to actually do, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, loving the games at the moment.
Excuse me. Have you done any live streaming on Twitch at all?
No, I created a Twitch account. I, I so I did a little bit, but I realized very quickly that when you're playing on Twitch, you're often having to play certain things because that's what viewers and people would actually want to watch. But thinking about Hearthstone, which is the game that I was trying to play on Twitch, often what I want to play is just the things that I enjoy, and I often want to play them in a certain way that isn't optimal or isn't, and I often don't want to have to talk through all of the decisions I'm making and stuff, and that's often what people on Twitch are doing.
Okay.
And I kind of want to keep games as something I enjoy and not something that then becomes a chore,
Yeah.
because that just doesn't appeal to me. So I tried it, but this is going back a couple of years now when it was starting to really take off.
hmm
Um, but I'm going to be honest and say that I'm actually quite glad that I didn't pursue it properly, because I like I like it. I like it as a fun thing and playing what I want to play and doing things as I want to do them. I don't really want to have to stick to a schedule and play at certain times. And yeah, the thing that I just don't have the energy for is the talking throughout. I want to play games and really experience the storytelling and really get into all the characters and the environment and the world, because that
hmm
immersion is like a world away from this world, and right now I feel like we kind of need that. Um,
Yeah.
but having to talk throughout and keep people entertained, I really want the story to be the thing that's entertaining, not having to talk over it. So
That makes sense.
for
Yeah.
me, it doesn't really fit.
hmm hmm
I just like games to play them. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, cool. In what way do you think the world is going to change as a result of this, and in what way would you like to see it change?
So a lot of my meetings have been a lot quicker than they would have been face to face, which I think has been quite interesting. So,
hmm
um, talking about from personal experience rather than like the world as a whole, um, an hour meeting, which would have been face to face and would have contained a lot of blethering and catching up and everything. A lot of that has been very much like bullet points, get through it, and an hour has become half an hour instead of. And I like that in some ways, but I don't want all of my meetings to go that way, because sometimes it's actually quite nice to just have, a coffee and a calm down and just have a blather, because yeah, social interaction is great. So I can see a lot of work going digital. And I don't know if you saw that poll that was on Steve Bartlett's LinkedIn, but he was talking about how many people expect to be working from home more and things when all this is done. And the comments were really eye-opening. It was the vast majority of people were saying that they do expect to be working from home more often. So I think we'll see that. Bigger picture, world stuff. I know a lot of some of the biggest inventions in the world have come as a result of, world crisis, big things happening in the world that's presented a challenge, and then we've kind of created something to overcome it. So I think we'll be more prepared for something like this in future. I think that's a given.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of the governance and policies which have had to be created on the fly, stimulus packages and things, I think all of that will be in a better position going forward, so that we know what to do when something like this might happen. Because a lot of this has been done reactionary rather than, thinking ahead as to what might happen. So I hope that governments and stuff take a lot of that on board, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
we'll wait and see if something else big happens in the future. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What advice or insight would you give to anyone that was just really struggling just now?
Well, play games. That's the obvious thing that comes to my mind that other people might not be saying.
Okay.
Find a game, because there's games for everyone. Like, you might think that it's not for you, but I promise there are games for everyone. So that's what I would recommend. Go and buy a Nintendo Switch and just try something. Because I've been playing Ring Fit Adventure, which is like a health and fitness thing, and it gives you all kinds of things to do, like yoga positions, and it's just really good. It gives you that motivation every day to actually use it. It measures all your heart rate and everything as well, so how
Mm-hmm.
hard you're pushing, and it kind of tells you to calm down if you're going too fast, and then the opposite if you're going too slow. And having games like that it makes a massive impact on how you feel, because in that case, health and fitness is obviously pretty vital. I'm assuming a lot of people's step counts have declined massively, like mine. So having a game like that keeps you fit indoors, and I know you're going to be speaking to Mitch, my personal trainer, later on. He's obviously going to be a big advocate for that as well. So yeah, having games that give you something else, so it's not just enjoyment, but in the case of Ring Fit Adventure, it's keeping you fit. Yeah, so I mean, that's one thing. I'm not sure if you have a puppy, play with your puppy a lot, because that's been incredible.
Yeah.
I think the pup's going to be really, really surprised when my partner and I both go back to work, and she doesn't know what to do with herself, because I was taking her to WeWork, but it's tricky when you've got meetings and things to have a pup running around, and
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's us
yeah,
nearly out of time, my friend.
that's it.
So
Yeah.
we'll need to be wrapping things up. Where can people find you?
Instagram. It's just my username. It's just my name, Ian Lebruce, all one word. Yeah, do that. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn and everything as well. But yeah, it should be easy enough to find. Just search my name. Easy.
Perfect. Ian, it's been absolutely brilliant chatting with you. I hope you managed to get through the rest of
Likewise.
this, and I look forward to catching up over coffee once it's all said and done.
Looking forward to it. I can't wait for all the coffees with everyone when this is done.
Yeah. All right, Ian. Take care. Cheers.
See you soon. Bye.